Welcome back to NBA Cinema. Today we have to talk about Jason Kidd and his defense of his star players Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. And the media last year was going in on them as their stats, they were still shooting efficiently and playing like themselves, but wasn't equating to wins. And oftentimes down the stretch you would see, like, since both of them like to take the last shot, you would see a little hesitancy on their part or over deference from one to another. But now, this year, they've added some glue guys that they need. I think Grant Williams, although he just got injured, Derek Lively, some of the type of players that they've put into the fold are able to play off of those type of players, and it has equated to some success for them. And I think that needs to get spoken about more, the type of players. Grant Williams is willing to catch the ball in the corner and shoot the three, and he's happy with those attempts, whereas you have some other players who want to create some shots for themselves and don't want to do the dirty work, might get discouraged. They're not getting the ball as much, and you have that. But Lively, he's happy being a lob threat. But I think the pieces around them allows them to be who they are offensively, and they have other players on the court that complement that skill set really well, whether it's rim protection. Grant Williams will guard all of the top wings and power forwards and even centers at times when needed. He's able to switch on defense. His versatility on defense means a lot, especially since that's not Luka's strong suit. And he brings leadership and toughness, right? And Derek Lively, just that youthfulness, that bounciness, he's going to be a really good player as he continues to develop, but he can be a defensive anchor type of player for a team. But Jason Kidd, he went in on reporters that wrote something about Kyrie and Luka last year. It was so much material on them, but now it's not so much because they're winning. Let's check out what he had to say. He cursed them out in the nicest way possible. Let's peep it.
I think maybe, Tim, maybe it's the things that you guys thought should have happened day one, is that they should be successful right off the bat. And it takes time. Failing is all right. It's not a bad thing to fail for a pro athlete, because you can get better and learn from it. And those two are the best in the world, and we feel very comfortable with those two having the ball. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't, but we learn from it, and I think they've answered that question from day one. As you just mentioned, they're one of the best, if not the best, in clutch time. But that was a big thing you guys wanted to make a big deal about last year. But you're not making a big deal about it this year because shit's going good, right? So write some positive shit.
I just asked you a question.
And I'm giving you a fucking answer. Like, you guys, there's all right to write positive stuff. People will read your positive shit. You don't always have to be negative. Right? Like, it's just the world's already negative enough, right? So let's see some positive stuff on some positive people that are doing their job on a nightly basis.
Making it a lot easier to do that this year.
Well, we're only into this year. We can't go back to last year, right? Like, that's the fucking problem. Have a good night.
Yeah, so Jason Kidd, he took exception with that, and what these reporters don't understand is when you write things about those players, is inferred that the coaching is not up to par too. So you can see why Jason Kidd would take offense, because it's like, man, you got Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic and you're not winning. Yes, they say the players may not mesh well together and stuff, but that's also a coach's job to make that happen if it's possible, right? So when you write these think pieces, you're in a way criticizing Jason Kidd too. And he's saying it's okay to write something positive about the players. Now, the clickbait is not as good, obviously, but you do still have some sports heads out there that want to learn something about the game, right? Sometimes I'll watch different podcasts that have no drama in it, because I do like to hear about basketball from a pure standpoint. Like, sometimes we like to hear what's going on, Draymond getting his texts and all that, but sometimes you like to hear about some X's and O's, or, the way a play was executed, down the stretch, the ATOs, what play was drawn up after the timeout. So I like that type of stuff too. was fortunate enough to play some JUCO basketball, so like I really like the game, like from a peer standpoint too. So I do like to hear those sorts of things. So I get what Jason Kidd is talking about, but I do think some of the criticism of those guys allowed you to tweak a few things. Luka's ball dominance is something hard to get used to. It's hard to assimilate yourself with that when you're someone like Kyrie Irving. Although Kyrie did play with a ball dominant LeBron James, so he's not foreign to it, and he has such a deep tool bag. He can find his offense. You know, he can score in the half. It's not like he's just a transition scorer or just a catch and shoot scorer. You know, he can go get it. So he's able to find himself, but those type of things take time. Because you saw when they first came together, Kyrie would play good on games Luka was out injured. And when he would come back, you know, he would kind of take a back seat. And I believe they were winning even while Luka was out. But then when he came back that first time, they started back losing. So style of play is key. And this is why I always say you can't just put offensively talented players on the team and think that'll automatically be the best team. It doesn't always work like that. But I'm happy to see they have pieces around them now. And I'm also glad to see Jason Kidd sticking up for his players. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.